Morning. How are you? Happy hump day. Yay. I'm pretty in pink today. Or am I allowed to say that? That I'm pretty? I just did. Ha ha ha. It is another hump day. Happy hump day here for me. I'm Dr. Valerie Renee Shepard. I'm coming to you live from the Hartley Center for Mindfulness and Self-Mastery. Self-mastery defined by me as mastering you in your life so that you can exquisitely manage whatever your life brings your way, whatever your life brings your way. And as we all know, life is funny that way. It can bring lots of different things into our sphere. It can bring all kinds of things into our heart space, into our mind, into our engagement, into our relationships. And so self-mastery is so critical because it's how you manage the things, especially, I can't say it enough, especially the things that you didn't plan for or the things that you didn't want. 3 pillars of self-mastery: self-awareness, biggest one. You got to start there. What do you really notice? How are you noticing you in your life? And then self-acceptance, the ability to receive yourself exactly as you are. Even if you decide, or when you decide, there are things that really should go through a transformation. But there's time, or it's time right now for some aspect of you to shift. There's nothing wrong. It doesn't have to be wrong to be where you are. It can just be, meh, I'm not digging it so much. When did we get so much into right and wrong? Oh, we were conditioned that way. Well, guess what? We don't have to blame the things we don't like in our lives on how we were conditioned or who conditioned us. We could just, right at this moment, decide, I think I'm going to pick a different path for myself going forward. I think I would like it to be more like this. You don't even have to get into the less than that or less like that and more like this. You could just go, more like this is what I'm choosing. And then reel it in. More like this. I'll take it. And keep focusing on the more like this. So I put in the little summary that I was going to tell you some things going on with me right now. So this is the question. So today's Hump Day Happy Chat. We're up to number 218, y'all. 218. Wee-hoo. We celebrated 100. We didn't celebrate 200. We'll get maybe 225 or 250. And I've got some really cool guests coming up. So we're going to have some fun in the 200s of the Hump Day Happy Chat. So the title for today is, Wait, this is not how it's supposed to be going. Like, wait, this is not how it's supposed to be going. And as you know, if you've been watching my Hump Day Happy Chats, you know that I often base them on either questions that come in from our community or situational dynamics that are unfolding in my life in the present moment, real time. So, this is definitely Valerie Real Time. Dr. Valerie is going to share with you real-time experiences. And the whole idea is that usually when I share, when I wrote my book, when I talk about some of the reasons I created my curriculum, when I talk about how the inspiration came to me to do certain things, many times people say, oh my gosh, you're speaking right into my heart, or I know exactly what you're talking about from my own experience. And so I like to use my petri dish and talk about it to help people recognize that what I am standing for, which is living happy to be me, dancing your soul light style, no matter what else is going on in your life, can be done. It can be done across a myriad of circumstances, highs, lows, and everything in between. And so today, wait, this is not how it's supposed to be going. is really happening for me. So I said that I'm experiencing one of my least favorite dynamics in life. Least favorite. That's when things turn out to be way different from what I had planned, what I had intended, what I expected, what I wanted. And yes, in some cases, I don't need this right now. Like, what's happening? There are a couple of like intertwined dynamics. I don't need any of them. It's like, yeah, no, not so much. Let's take a deep breath. I know that I created a game plan. I know that I did due diligence. I know that I sweated the small stuff. I know that I asked for and followed inner guidance. I do that like I breathe. I know that I plan contingencies. I have an engineering mind. I'm in logistics, master's in logistics. I know that I plan for this stuff. And still, what's unfolding is not how it's supposed to be going. I feel way off track. I feel irreversibly off track. Like, there's no recovery from a couple of these things that I can see from my vantage point right now. And it's scary. I feel vulnerable and I wouldn't say all the way to lost, but there are a lot of question marks in even considering the potential bridges. What's the bridge to get, quote unquote, back on track? So what about you, I'm wondering? I would love it if you feel comfortable, even if you're watching on the hashtag replay, even if you're watching on the replay, maybe typing into the comment box, like, have you been this way? What was it like? What was something or a period or a time where you were like, whoa, Nelly, I'm way off track? And it doesn't have to be like, oh my gosh, my life is ending. It can be just, this is not what I expected or planned for, and I'm a little bit daunted. How do you characterize things? Like, do you let yourself acknowledge the dynamics and feel those feelings? The feelings that are triggered by sitting in this quagmire potentially, or this pot of circumstances that are not the best ones? Do you let yourself feel? Do you let yourself come into a wholeness inside the dynamic, or are you shooting away? Like, oh, don't want to go there. Ooh, trying to, quote unquote, get back on track as fast as you can. Rushing to make something happen. Sometimes in that rush, we run away from where the actual power lies in the circumstance. Sometime in that rush to get away, run away, flight, run away, keep running. When we put ourselves in the space of escape avoidance, is what it's called psychologically, escape avoidance, usually triggered by fear, but also by a whole bunch of other things. The anticipation of more of what we don't want. Escape, avoidance, flight takes us away from where the power in the circumstance is. What I'm talking about is where your growth is awaiting you, where it's saying, come hither, my dear being. Come hither, my love. Like, you've heard me say this before. I'm not the first. I won't be the last. Your life is happening for you. And it's speaking to you. It's speaking to you. And I say, ears not necessary. Listening needs to happen. Like, that is, do you have the eyes to see? 3 eyes, third eye, 2 eyes. Do you have the ears to hear? That's the ears and other aspects of the entire beingness that you are, your physical body, hears and gives you messages. And do you have the heart to receive? Are you cultivating the heart to receive? Eyes to see, ears to hear, heart to receive. Do you create those in yourself, for yourself, about yourself, in order to speak from yourself to yourself. It's critical that you do. Your solutions lie in your ability to do that. And maybe not every solution, but maybe the best solutions, the most optimal solutions, the ones that get you where you want to go quicker, the ones that alleviate your fear, your pain, your shame, your guilt, whatever that is that you're feeling, that you're running away from because of the circumstances. Maybe befriending those feelings and going into them, making an ally out of them, stepping forward instead of leaning back or turning around and running in the other direction. Maybe inside that muck and yuck, as I call it, are some gems. Ooh, baby. The pearl inside the oyster. Maybe. So when I think about what's going on for me right now, so I had planned all these things and I'm doing a big international move and thought I had as many I's dotted and T's crossed as I had information for at the time. And the guidance that I got from learned intermediaries, as I call them, people that I pay to give me feedback or give me input or guide me or handle things. Where in the actual living of the circumstances, what I was understanding, I won't go into blame, what they told me, what I was understanding turns out to not be so true. And I'm in a situation right now that could be much more costly than I have budgeted for and has a lot of whoa Nelly, is this I have heard myself say a couple of times, I've done this all wrong. This is all wrong. I don't know how to recover from it. Oh, wow. Some energy's coming up. 1 second. Whew. So this is an example of what I mean. When the energy comes up, are you willing to be in it? So those words, this is all wrong, brought some energy up, which is part of what I wanted to talk about today. The feelings of, I'm all wrong. I'm wrong. And I don't mean wrong as in I chose wrong. I mean, I am wrong. I'm not supposed to be here. I'm not supposed to have goodness and joy and fun and breath and life. That there's something wrong with me inherently. Wrong with me. I'm wrong. The other feelings that have been coming up that I've been nurturing, talking to, listening to. There's an old one of unworthiness, not feeling like I belong, and that the blessings and the gifts that I've been given really don't belong to me, really shouldn't be mine. There are old feelings of unlovability, that the divine really doesn't see me, hear me, want me around, bless me, love me. I'm not very lovable. Other things that have come up as I've navigated the oopsie daisies of what's going on right now is that I don't deserve to have everything turn out right. I don't deserve to have the thumbs up after I've put in hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and effort and money of due diligence and dotting I's and crossing T's. I don't deserve for it to work out. So that no matter how much effort I put in, nah, not for you, Dr. Val, not for you. And then the last one is I don't get to live in safety and sanctuary. Other people get to find that and be in that and feel what it feels like to have that unfold in their lives, the safety and the sanctuary. Not me so much. My life is about struggle. It's going to be about struggle. My ancestors struggled in the worst way against some insurmountable forces. So knowing that's what's coming up, it's about finding my refuge inside the storm. Like counterintuitive. My refuge is inside the storm. Why would I say that? Because the storm, as I'm labeling it, is just feelings. It's just emotional trauma. And I don't mean just as in not worth paying attention to. I mean just as in, and I can handle it. Just as in, I have an opportunity to dissolve it, to allow it to dissipate in my life, to be less of a distraction in future moments. This is the place where inside out living has to happen, where the outside world is showing me what I do not have control over, what all of my effort is not necessarily going to solve or resolve, where my big brain and my ability to sort things out, to organize, to categorize, to assimilate, to integrate, where all those brainiac capabilities that I have in abundance, I'm proud to say, lovingly to myself, aren't going to solve the problem. There is no resolution in just resorting to that capacity that I have. That is also not the activation of my wholeness. When I can come at the dynamics in my life that feel like, whoa, Nelly, from a place of wholeness. And what do I mean by that, y'all? What do I mean by that? Hashtag spiritual and human. Integration of the spirituality, the spiritual nature, the divine essence that I am. In my book title, that's the ME. It's not about me. Ego, small me. It's a capital ME on purpose. Magnificent essence, the divinity that I am. When I go into the divinity that I am as a part of dealing with the humanness of myself and the human dynamics that are inherent in a life in the third dimension, I add power. I add clarity. I add peace. I add a river. And then I put my boat in the river. And then I flow downstream. I add ease. I experience grace. I remember the truth of who I am. And that no even seeming insurmountable and scary situation really can get the better of me. Might get the better of me for a couple days or for a time. Let's say for a time. And yes, I have had a couple good cries in the last week or so. Yeah. Self-mastery and living happy to be me are not about never experiencing the not. Not what I wanted, not what I planned, not what I have time for, not what I have energy for, not what I have money for. It's not about that. Someone said it's not about it never raining. It's about learning how to dance in the storm. And I would say through the storm, throughout the storm, however long what I'm going to title a storm is around. And note to self, the way we label something is the way we experience it. So maybe if I change the label, I might experience something completely different. And that's something I talk about too in a topic for another day. So your best refuge, when you're in these kind of stormy places or where there's this cognitive dissonance, there's a left brain word for you, 2 words, cognitive dissonance, when my brain cannot understand how I am dealing with what I have because it doesn't line up with what should be happening based on all the left brain stuff, the calculations, and what we put in place to have happen. So when I'm experiencing that in the outer world, your best refuge is to mine what's going on in your inner world. Mine as in M-I-N-E, and mind, M-I-N-D, as in mindfulness and self-mastery. What's going on in there? If your mind and heart don't feel like sanctuaries in difficult times, could be because your mind is full of chatter. How this is so bad. Where are your things to do list? How are you going to figure it out? Who do I call and get advice from? Am I enough? What have I done? Oh my God. The last time I did this, I lost all my money. The last time I did this, he left me. The last time I did this, she called me. Whatever those things are, mind chatter. Old tapes from old emotional traumas related to old situational dynamics. It could also be because the heaviness in your heart has been triggered. Not triggered just to make you feel bad. Ha 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 ha. Your life wants you to feel bad. It's not about that, dear one. That's what your life is saying. It's not about that, dear one. It's so that you will notice what's really rolling around down there. What's making your life feel heavy. What's lowering your vibration. Yikes. And what you could, in this moment, start to release. Start to untangle from. Start to cut the cords from. Come into the present moment. It can be hard to focus on resolution when you're sitting in this kind of pollution. It's critical to notice that even though it feels like it's right now, like this old stuff is like, coming up, it's not real and true in the current moment. It's not real and true in the current moment. I know that I'm deserving. I know that I'm worthy. I know that I belong here. I know that I have a mission, a critical mission for myself and for the planet and my community. I'm comfortable in it. I'm rolling around in it. I'm loving it. So I know these feelings are not the truth. They're just feelings. And they want my attention, which means they're still alive. And I've got to help them go to rest. It's just the sleeping bear within that's been ignited. It's like poke the bear. Yeah, poke the tiger. That's what's happened. Something inside you that's out of alignment with the higher self that you are has been poked. It's been triggered. Not to just play with you. Not to just ruin your day or your week. Not to just show you what you can't do. It's not about that. It's about helping you remember and consciously choose what is real and true in this moment and every moment. That you are an eternal, immortal, divine manifestation of the divine image and likeness. Breath of the breath. Divine manifesting in this moment. Godliness. Walking. That's step one in my living happy to be me. Remember the truth of who you are, and then the other steps fall from that. Once you really are anchored in that spot, everything else becomes that much more easy, that much more flowing, that much more connected. So being aware of what's going on when your sleeping bear got triggered, kicked, when your sleeping tiger got poked, allows you the opening that's necessary to go to higher ground. And the higher ground means higher vibration, higher understanding, a different vantage point that helps you discern from a higher level what your opportunities are in the moment. So a couple things. I'm always going to say choose happy. Just choose it in the moment. And yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on, and I'm like so excited about what's coming up. I'm so excited about what I get to do today as a part of what's coming up. I'm so excited. If I didn't have the opportunities and the dream that I'm living into, I wouldn't have the situational problems that have come up as a part of living that dream, as a part of being myself, walking down that path. It's not Pollyanna. It's critical. Mission critical. I always use gratitude. I always use gratitude and oneness statements as a part of, oh yeah, who am I really? I am the divine manifesting in this moment. I give breath, life, and opportunity to the divine to expand territory for love, for joy, for harmony, for laughter, for play, for fun, for love, for peace. I'm grateful for expanding understanding within me now. I am one with the prosperity I seek. I'm one with the solutions I seek. I'm 100% aligned with my higher self, and I'm getting all the guidance I need, all the protection I desire to fulfill my purpose, to fulfill my mission, and to have one heck of a time with the vision that I have created as a part of my purpose. I'm grateful for overflowingness in my life, overflowing compassion, overflowing understanding, overflowing help, overflowing resources. Are you getting it? I'm one with the forgiveness needed to dissipate all the old low vibration feelings that are coming up now. I declare and proclaim myself 110% worthy, 110% deserving, 110% okay. Everything in my life and in myself is very, very right. So these are ones that speak to me, and I go on a rant like that in order to activate the energy and keep it flowing and bubbling and bubbling and bubbling until I can feel it through my whole system. I can feel it everywhere, around me and within me. So cultivating your inner sanctuary in the midst of what is an outer storm. Oh wait, this is not how it's supposed to be going. This is not what I wanted. This is not what I planned for. This is not what I expected. The outer storm. Create your inner sanctuary. Go there. Breathe. Breathe. Open your heart to receive the gifts that you're about to affirm. And then get on with affirming them. And then, of course, open yourself up even further to receive the help, the forgiveness. Apply the wisdom. Keep on moving. Keep on keeping on. Hashtag keep on keeping on. That's it for today's Hump Day Happy Chat. Thank you for joining. Remember, if you watch the replay, I'd love to know about it. So hashtag replay. Input your questions or your comments. And what was the circumstantial dynamic that made you like, oh my God, this is not, no, wait, what? What was it for you? If you have questions, get them to me and I'll answer them. And I always close the Hump Day Happy Chat with the Karanayametta Sutra, the prayer of loving kindness from the Buddha. This just gives me yumminess all over. It's the way that we affirm that whatever we're asking for ourselves, bless the greater good. May all beings be peaceful. May all beings be safe. May all beings be happy. May all beings awaken to the light of their true nature. And may all beings be free, emotionally free, liberated from your low vibration past. Get to higher ground, change your vantage point, open your heart, and receive. Many blessings. Bye now. See you next time.